my name's MC, and on behalf of Centre de Santé, I want to welcome you to this week's session of Fun Fit from Home. Today we will be working mostly on balance and flexibility. We're going to start off by doing some dynamic flexibility movements, which is also going to act as our warm-up. And then we're going to do some more static balance exercises. And then we're going to finish off with some stretching. The only thing you need today is your flat sole shoe and a sturdy chair. So when we do work on balance, we always want to make sure that we have a chair nearby so that we can hold on to it if need be. But we do want to try as best as we can to not use the chair so that we can challenge balance. But if you have to use it, that's what it's there for. So we're going to start off by making sure that we're standing nice and tall with your feet about shoulder distance apart with the toes facing forward. We're going to lift our chest, reach the crown of the head up, and we're just going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, arms come down. So nice deep breath in, allow your abdomen to expand as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, float the arms down. So keep lengthening the spine as you stand here, breathing in and breathing out. So let's get right to our dynamic balance exercises. So hands on the hips, you're going to look straight ahead and you're going to start to tap your toes alternating. So try not to move your legs a whole lot. So the only thing that you want to be moving right now is those toes. So tapping the toes 1 foot at a time. So this is the beginning of our warm-up, getting the legs warmed up. And this also works on the endurance in the muscle that's in front of your shin, your tibialis anterior. And this is a really important muscle that we don't often work in some exercise programs. But it's important to have good endurance here so that when you walk, you lift up your toes and your feet so that you don't trip on your own feet as you move. So we're going to keep going. We've got a little bit more of this. And again, keep your chest proud. Crown of the head reaches up and your shoulders should be down and away from your ears. Keep those feet going. Got a little bit more here. So you might start to feel that in your shin a little bit. As we go, the muscles might get a little bit fatigued. And good, so we're going to stop. Our next balance exercise is another dynamic balance exercise. So we're going to take it up onto our toes here, and we're going to march it out. So if marching on your toes is really uncomfortable for you, feel free to do a regular march instead, although it won't quite work your balance as much, but it'll still get you a little bit more warmed up for the exercises to follow. Just a little bit more. So ideally you'd want to do these exercises on flooring, but if you're like me and the only place in your house that you can exercise in has carpet, just make sure that you lift those feet off of the floor. Just a little bit more, and then we're going to move to the same thing, but on your heels. All right, so let's bring this to a stop. We're going to lift the toes and march on the heels. So this will warm up your ankles. You'll feel this in your ankles a little bit more than a regular march. And again, working on balance. And again, if this is too uncomfortable for you, if you've got any heel pain, feel free to just do the regular march instead. We've got a little bit more. And let's bring this to a stop. So the next balance exercise is another dynamic balance exercise. And the wider your feet are apart here, the easier it's going to be. And the closer your feet are together, the more challenging this exercise is going to be. So you can kind of pick which width of your legs you want here. And make sure that you keep your at least one hand close to the chair just in case. We're going to go from our toes to our heels, both feet at the same time. So we're going to lift onto our toes, and then we're going to lower the heels and then lift the toes up onto so you're onto your heels. So it's kind of like a seesaw motion going back and forth. And again, we want to try to keep the body as straight as possible here. So the tendency is to shoot the hips back as you lift your toes up, but you want to try to avoid that, keeping your glutes in. And again, to make this easier, a wider stance will make it easier. It still challenges your balance. Great job, guys. All right, let's flatten those feet to the floor. Next, we're going to do a knee lift. So because we are working on balance, the slower you do the movement, the more challenging it's going to be. So nice and slow, we're going to lift the knee up and then replace that foot down onto the floor and to the other side. Now, if your foot needs to touch down on the floor faster than mine, that's okay. Again, just do the best you can. So slowly moving that knee up and slowly bringing it down. So we're going to do this just a little bit more, and then we're going to add a progression. But if this is more challenging enough for you, feel free to stay right here. So to help with balance, you can try to steady your gaze by focusing on a point. Vision is really important when it comes to balance. So fixing your eyes on something that isn't moving can be very helpful for many. Okay, we're going to add the progression now. So we're going to lift the knee up, extend your leg like you're kicking a soccer ball, bend your knee and place your foot back down. Do that again. So knee up, extend, bend, and down. If you just want to continue alternate knee lifts, you can do that as well. So this is a little bit more challenging because we're holding that knee up a little bit longer. But again, the chair is there for you if you need it. But if you are using the chair, try to use just the fingertips if you can, rather than holding on for dear life. But don't worry, the chair's there, it won't walk away on you. Last one here. And good. Feet on the floor. We're going to do some balance transfer. So we're going to take a giant step forward with one leg, and then just bring your feet back together. And now other side. So giant step forward and back. So you want to transfer your weight to the front foot, now to the back foot. Good. All right, last one here. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go backwards now. So take a step back, together. Now drop your heel and shift your weight backwards and forward. Great job, guys. Feet together. For the next one, we're going to go side to side. So we're going to go behind our chair just to make sure that we don't hit it. So grab your chair, place it right in front of you. So we're going to do a lateral step this time. We're going to start on this side. So a big step to the side, transferring your weight here, and come back to center. All right, let's do two more, then we're going to go to the other side. Other side. Last one. Good, feet together. All right, we're gonna do our tandem walk next. So we wanna make sure that our chair, once again, is beside us. So we're gonna walk on our imaginary rope here. So one foot in front of the other. So again, for this one, steadying your gaze on the point, something that isn't moving, can be very helpful here. So we're gonna reach your arms to our sides, and nice and slow, we're gonna walk forward. You're about to see a cat come into the video. Oh, maybe not, just going in the other direction. All right, let's walk forward. Oh, no, there she is. All right, let's walk on her imaginary rope. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go back. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that again, so let's walk forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stagger your feet, lower the arms, and we're going to move to our static balance exercises. So again, we're going to be next to our chair. So now our feet are not going to be moving. So these are static exercises that we're going to do, but we might move our head and our arms. So shifting the gaze when you're doing balance exercises makes it more challenging because your vision is affected, and the movement of the arms shifts your center of gravity, which can also make it a little bit more challenging. So we're going to start by just doing one foot off the floor. So hands on the hips if possible. You're going to lift onto the big toe of one foot. Now feel free to stay right there. If you don't want to lift this foot off the floor, if you already feel a little unsteady, that's perfect. You can stay here. To make this more challenging, you can lift the foot off of the floor. Good. So we're just going to hold that. If the foot needs to touch down, even if it's a few times, that's okay. Good, we're going to replace the foot down and move to the other leg. So onto the big toe, looking straight ahead at something that isn't moving. And now option to lift the knee up a little bit so that the toe is off of the floor. Stay focused. And replace the foot down. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go back to the first leg, but this time we're going to turn the head to make this a little bit more challenging. If you just want to lift the foot off the floor and keep steadying your focus on your gaze on a point of focus, you can do that as well. So again, we're going to lift onto the big toe. Option to either stay here or lift the knee up a little bit, and we're going to turn the head to one side. Look over at your wall here or out your window, depending on where you're looking. You're going to come back to center, and now turn your head to the other side. Bring your head to center and flatten the foot to the floor. Okay, great. Other foot now. Onto the big toe. Either stay here or a foot comes off the floor. We're going to turn the head to the side. A little bit more challenging. Back to center. And turn your head to the other side. And center. And replace the foot down. Awesome. So we're going to go back to the first foot, but this time we're going to add some motions with the arms. So we're going to keep our gaze straight ahead, but we're going to move the arms as we hold the legs in one place. So let's lift onto the ball of the front foot, option to stay here, option to lift the foot off the floor, and you're going to bring your arms up to shoulder height. All right, now we're going to bring both the arms slowly to the front. Reach the arms overhead. Arms come down, side, and back to our sides. Foot down on the floor, now other leg. So up onto that big toe, option number 1 or option number 2. Let's lift our arms to the sides, come to the front, reach it up, down, sides, and all the way down. Good. Okay, so for the next exercise, we're going to do the same thing, but we're only going to do one arm at a time instead of both arms. So let's go back to that first foot, onto the ball of the foot, arms to the sides, option to keep your big toe on the ground or not. Again, with the foot off, completely off the floor, it's a little bit more challenging. So bring one arm forward. Now reach that arm up. Arm comes down and side, other side, front, up, down, side, both arms all the way down, both feet flat on the floor. Okay, other side. So we're going to lift onto the big toe, reach both arms to the sides, Now one arm at a time, you're going to reach the arm to the front, up, down, side, other arm, front, up, down, side, and both arms all the way down and heel down. All right, we have one more static balance exercise and then we're going to move to our stretching. So you're going to go back into your tandem stance, but instead of walking forward and back, we're just going to stay steady here. So one foot in front of the other like you're standing on a rope, and then hands on the hips. Now, if this is enough of a challenge for you and you're already feeling a little bit wobbly, you're going to stay right where you are. To make this a little bit more challenging, if you can, you're going to lift onto the toes. Good. Now both heels down, we're going to stay here, and you can either keep looking straight ahead, or for more of a challenge, you can turn your head to look over one shoulder and center, and now look over your other shoulder. And center, and you're going to unstagger your feet. Good. Okay, so now we have to do that with the other foot in front. So foot goes in front of the other, almost as if you were on an imaginary rope. Arms, or they can be down or on your hips. If you absolutely have to, fingertips on the chair. And you can stay here, or if you feel pretty steady here, to challenge yourself, you can lift onto your toes. Gently replace your heels back down. We're going to turn our head to look over our shoulder. Bring your head back to center. And turn your head to the other side. And back to center. Bring your feet in line with one another. Good, so we've done all of our balance exercises, so we're going to move to our stretching next. And for that, we're going to stand right next to our chair. Doesn't matter which side, because we're going to do both sides. And we're going to take our leg that's furthest away from the chair here, and you're going to take a giant step back with that foot, press your heel down, lift your chest, and you should feel a stretch in the calf of your back foot. You want your front knee to be right above the ankle. If you look down, you should be able to see your big toes here. So if you can't see your toe, then you can walk your foot forward a little bit. Chest is lifted, shoulders are down. And step your feet together, and you're going to take your leg that's closest to the chair and you're going to cross it in front of the leg that's furthest away from the chair. With a little attitude, you're going to shift your hip to the side. So you're going to feel a stretch in the outer leg here, and you can remain here, or you can reach the arm up towards the ceiling. So make sure your shoulder's down away from your ear, and your arm is going to reach back a little bit so that the chest is open. Lower the arm down, uncross your leg. Your leg that's furthest away from the chair, you're going to step it forward just a little bit. Lift the toes up. Now be careful not to lock out the knee joint here. You're going to bend into the standing leg as you shift your hips backwards. Lifting the toes of that foot here. And you should feel a stretch in the back of your leg, so you're stretching out your hamstring. So your chin should be down just a little bit so that the back of your neck is long. And we're going to come all the way up, flatten your feet to the floor, and let's go ahead and do that same sequence on the other side. So you're right next to your chair, holding onto the chair for balance if you need to. Your feet are about hip distance apart, and you're going to step one leg back, pressing the heel down and lunging slightly forward into that front leg, making sure your knee stacks right above the ankle. Bringing your feet together, you're going to take your leg that's closest to the chair and cross it in front of the leg that's furthest away from the chair. Hip out to the side a little bit. You're going to feel the stretch in the outside of the leg. Shoulders are relaxed. You can stay here or reach the arm that's furthest away from the chair up towards the ceiling as you drop the shoulder down, and you're going to rotate your shoulder blade back a little bit of that top arm so that the chest stays open. Lower the arm down, uncross the leg, hamstring stretch on the other side. Foot steps forward a little bit, lift the toes. You're going to bend on the standing knee here, the leg that's closest to the chair, hinging the hips back until you feel stretch in the back of your leg here. Chin is down, so back of the neck is long. And let's come all the way up, flatten the foot to the floor. Stand nice and tall, interlace your fingers together, and you're going to stretch your arms out to the front. So imagine like you're giving a hug to someone, preferably someone you like. Hugs are better that way. Reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, shoulders relax down and away from the ears. Arms are going to come down. We're going to bring our hands onto our hips. Elbows are going to reach back, and you're going to lift your breastbone up. So we're stretching the front of the shoulders and the chest here. Just a little bit more. And arms come down. We're going to roll the shoulder blades back. So up, back and down a few times. Good, now take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, great job guys. Thank you for joining me again for this session of Fun Fit from Home, and I will see you guys next week.